temps d'aspiration, il devrait avoir
Oui, par l'avantage.
Est-ce qu'on réussit? On se place à l'intérieur, on se touche!
On a été très patient.
Belle lutte jusqu'à maintenant. Et là,
Alors qu'on a un accrochage ici, on a une sortie de piste.
on va tenter de croiser, qui n'est pas le meilleur endroit pour dépasser. Oui! Incroyable!
And hello everybody and welcome to round 2 of the EGT challenge brought to you by the EGT Canada community. Here I am joined today by Alex Goldschmidt here at the Circuit of the Americas for round 2. Hello Alex, how are you doing today?
Good evening, Nathaniel. Good evening, everybody. Yes, Circuit of the Americas, which, funnily enough, in just a few weeks will celebrate its 10th anniversary of operation. But yeah, here for round 2, 5.513 kilometers. And yeah, qualifying is going to be a bit of a doozy. I mean, this track is very, very unforgiving. It has quite a lot of mixture of different circuits, especially, you know, going through turns 3, 4 and 5. It's a bit like one of the tracks we're going to visit at round 5 on November 8th, which will be the home of British Motorsport. We're on board with SOP Esports David Boulanger, the number 22 Bentley. But free practice, Ismail Aprek, who leads the pro class, was quicker than Guillaume Adoré by just over 0.8 of a second.
Incredibly quick.
Incredibly quick. The thing is, as Jonathan Boivin was not in free practice, and that's even the more impressive with Labrec, because he's running with 30 kilos. For those wondering, there has been a BOP implementation, so the top 3 in the respective classes come the end of round 1 back at Kyalami just 2 weeks ago. The winner of each class gets 30 kilos added to their car, second 20 kilos, and third gets 10 kilos. So you know, Lebrec could be at a little bit of a disadvantage, but this circuit in its 20 turn layout could be very, very, I think probably more of a help than a hindrance to something like, say, Honda NSX. But at the moment, it's Marchand, the number 14, that's well, they're all on their out laps at the moment, so they're just trying to get those track temperatures up, tyre temperatures up, get the brakes warmed up, and then go flying around this circuit. So yeah, over the next 16.5 minutes, Nathaniel, we're going to see some great fast laps. There's Jean-Luc Marchand in the Castrol liveried Lexus and the number 14 from Neverlift Technologies. And you can just see with this long straight from T11 to T12, it's a fantastic opportunity for slipstreaming, as we're going to see a very, very good demonstration if Marchand decides to poke his nose up the inside. But in qualifying, you don't want to do that and cause a problem because the Lexus in front runs wide.
As both one's right here, it's gonna be interesting to see how the different drivers set up their car, because you definitely want some speed with the 2 long straights, as you mentioned. The straight between turn 11 and turn 12, very long straight, and then the start-finish straight is also pretty long. But you have this this whole chain of corners between turn 2 and turn 10. That's very demanding on the car. You have really to push the car to the limits, very tight turns, so you need downforce as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the drivers set up their cars, if they're gonna try to get more speed for the race, or try to get a mix of both for qualifying. It's gonna be interesting to see how they play this out, as we get first time on the board with Medal fastest right now, 5.6 with Patrick Fournier just really close behind, just less than a tenth here.
Yeah, Adrien Bourdon, who's currently 8th in the championship standings in the pro class, on 8 points goes P4 in the and look, Hassan Boulanger and Baisden, 4 Bentleys in the top 7. But the Porsche with there's a few shout outs. Francois Honnet has gone go team GTQ CQ, and we are with Mr. Fournier himself. Didn't have a good run. Opening lap for Patrick Fournier was, well, you had a chat with him post-race and you told me he was not very happy, but the Porsche will be very strong around here. But one of the biggest things with turns 2 to 10 is track limits. You've got to have that fine balance of momentum carrying, sideways movement, but also handling. You don't want to infringe on those track limits, as Patrick is only 92 thousandths behind as that Porsche screams its way down that long straight. The biggest thing you said about turn 20 to turn 1, the biggest thing that we have is an elevation change, a significant one, and it's like a blind crest.
Yeah, exactly, and the track limits, as you said, they're very unforgiving here. The limit is the white line, so if you go all 4 tires over the white line, you automatically get a track cut. So that's gonna be very dangerous, especially over a 1-hour race. For these drivers, it's gonna be very dangerous. You're gonna have to be very careful because you want to push those limits, obviously, especially in that chain of turns. You want to get the best line for the next corner. However, you cannot push it too much because you'll scrap your lap, unfortunately. So it's a very demanding track. It's new to this game, and it's yeah, these drivers seem to be already accustomed to it as Fournier backs out of his lap. Unfortunately blocked by the blocked. He was way too close to the Lexus of Marchand, as Lebrec is has done a better lap. He's now 205.1, so he's nearly 2 tenths up on Fournier. And you said earlier that Jonathan Boivin was not in the practice session. He is neither in this qualifying session, Alex, so at least for now. So unfortunately, he may be absent today.
That's a real shame, because we had that cracking battle between Laprec and Boivin at Kyle Army. They were line astern pretty much for the entire race. They wanted to get some solid points on the board. Looking down at the silver class, it is the number 90 Honda NSX of Maxime David that is leading the battle for silver pole position. And then you've also got Mathieu Prudhomme down in the 166 in 11th position, representing McLaren, and our very own Danick Vellet rounding out the top 3 in the Audi in 13th position. So some good strong showings, but looking at the split between the top 14, which also has Steve Santour, who had that technical failure with the Mercedes going straight on at Crowthorns in the first race at Kyle Army. Hopefully those technical gremlins have been sorted out ahead of this qualifying session down the race.
Same for Clermont in the silver category, car number 227, who unfortunately, while leading the race in the silver category, had a connection failure on his end, so he had a disconnect and unfortunately had to retire from the race. Because of that, he was leading very comfortably in the silver class, and unfortunately that has ruined his first race for him. However, right now he is 5th in the silver category with a 207.2 as he rounds up the
it's now the top 6. There's been a few changes. Basin's just gone B4. Laprec has been closed in by Mador, who's gone 65 thousandths slower. So it is an all-out dogfight, and we have in the top 6 different manufacturers. Honda leads Audi, Porsche, Bentley, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. And the Lamborghini is from Marc-Antoine Landry, who currently is sitting 11th in the pro class with 5 points off the opening round at Kyle Army, with that very, very jazzily looking Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo.
Had a few accidents in the beginning of the race. Made a nice comeback though in the race, Marc-Antoine Landry, but unfortunately at the end of the race he ran out of gas. Just crawled his way past the finish line.
It was like an escargot was going across the finish line. That was the thing.
Exactly. So hopefully it'll be a better race for him, as there's a yellow flag out. It's Madar and Thibodeau. I don't know if those two yellow flags are related. They don't seem like it.
Well, Thibodeau's had a problem and is currently leading the way for pole position in the silver class, actually pipping Maxime David by nearly a tenth of a second, and has just returned to garage. So. And Thibodeau is currently third in the championship standings in the silver class and is running with 10 kilos of ballast, so still to be ahead of Maxime David, who has no ballast weight on that car. And David picked up no points, was 17th at Kyalami, because we had a whole host of silver drivers. And currently in qualifying at the moment on the server, we have 36, which is rounded out by Michael Formato in the number 200 Porsche, who's only just done it was a 7-minute 25-second outlap. But Patrick is, he just clipped curbs there. That was, I think that was definitely a shock to the system, and Patrick's just backed out of that lap. Just clipped the curb with the left rear, and it just sent the tail end to the right-hand side, and the Porsche was very, very unstable. So
great car control to keep it out of the grass there, to keep it on the circuit.
Yeah, and definitely I'm sure there was a lot of frantic steering wheel activity just to keep that car handled.
I'm sure, yes. As Basin goes 4th currently, sitting in 4th with a 2:05.6, with Dubé, who had a nice race, just missing out on the podium. And in the first round, just missing out on the podium, is now sitting in 5th in qualifying. So the top 3 currently sitting inside 2/10, and the top 5 inside 5/10. So it's very close. Pretty much the top 10 is inside the second from the leader. So very competitive times here by these drivers. We have Thibodeau as now sitting in 9th place. He's now back out on the circuit, 9th place, but obviously 1st place in the silver category. So that's very well done to him. But he's followed closely by David. Let me get his time. Yeah, David has a 2:06.3, whereas Thibodeau has a 2:06.29. So about a tenth separates these two as well. So for both pole position, for both first place, very close battles here in both categories.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at silver, you know, you got David, Prudhomme, Vallée, and Bilodeau. They're all covered by, 2.5 tenths of a second. So that is not much when you consider it around a very, very lengthy circuit, which, was this particular circuit history, it was conceived by Tavo Hellman, who is the promoter of the circuit, and 1993 motorcycle world champion Kevin Schwantz. But then they also had good old Hellman Tilke, just for a little bit of additional spice on the circuit. But it's a really good track. It's going to give us some great racing. Hassanza ended up in the pits, currently P6 in the number 223 Bentley. But Thibodeau just wrestling with that Honda. You can just see the amount of steering wheel adjustment going through these corners, and just is on the ragged edge of what I've now going to start nicknaming the candy cane liveried Honda NSX.
That's a very great livery. They're very creative, I must say. As really wrestling that car through these chains of corners through turn 9. Now turning on turn 11 for that long straight. You want to get the best exit possible because it's a very long straight, so you want to get the maximum speed out of the exit to get a good lap time, as we have a slow car right in front of him. Ooh,
now that has ended up sideways, and that looks, I'm not too...
I believe that's Carl Alari in the 988 car. I'm not too sure what has happened there.
That looks like that tarmac has quickly become quicksand all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it might be an issue for these Cerebrus Motorsport McLaren there in the 988, which is literally harpooned part way on the right hand side into the tarmac. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting to say the very least, but I don't think anyone might be able to see him.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't go back to see what happened to him, but yeah, hopefully he'll get out of that predicament. Ooh, he just runs out wide, Thibodeau does, as he's ending his lap here. Is he gonna be able to improve on this lap?
It's going to be tough to tell, really,
Yeah.
because
He does not improve, no.
but guess who's on pole position overall at the moment?
Yeah,
Patrick Fournier.
Patrick Fournier, 205.0. So with a fantastic sector 3 there, 49.610, fastest sector 3. As I just want to point out that Kevin Racine in 6th place has the best sector 2 of all, with a 48.657. Very interesting to see. So now the pressure is on Labrec to improve and to get that first place back. We'll see. He's ending his lap right now. We'll see if he's able to improve. I believe he's on a very good lap, actually. So he may as well improve. As we see coming out of the last corner, he gets a good exit, and I believe he's gonna take back first place.
Unless he's invalidated.
No, he's invalidated. Yeah, he might have invalidated.
It was a quicker time, but he invalidated that lap, so he's got to do it all again, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him, because it was looking very good. Only a 10th he has to get to Fournier. Oh, now to get Madar now. Madar improves. Get to second place, second position for Guillaume Madar, 205.140. So he's 6. Ooh, as he gets a little bit loose on the first corner.
Yeah, with that blind crest, that's very, very difficult, because you've got to really nail your braking zone. It's a bit of a different, like, say, if we were racing a Brands Hatch, for instance, it's a downward blind crest, and there is a car off to the left-hand side. So there were.
That was a Honda of Maxime David. He's now just taken the first place of silver class, I must say, but this lap has not gone according to plan for him, but he is currently sitting in the first place in silver category. He must have had a spin in that little section. He's now back on track with, seems like there's no damage for this Team GCTQ car, COTA livery. Very nice, very recognizable livery in this community, the GCTQ livery.
Dubé's just gone up. Landry's just gone up to P4 in the Lamborghini. That's a great lap from him. 2-minute 5.437. Top 4, top 5 covered by just over half a second. Top 10 with Maxime David running, leading in silver. They're covered by just under 1.1 seconds, and then all the way down to Steve Centour down in 22nd position. They are covered. That's the top 22 covered by just under 2 seconds. The qualifying has been really, really close. So we're back with Laurence Dubé in the number 70 Ferrari 488. Currently sitting in 5th place, 5.3 tenths behind Fournier's blistering lap time. Madar has been close. We've got another yellow flag out on the circuit, but I think that time from Patrick Fournier is only going to be beaten by the likes of Madar and Labrec, but Labrec, with 30 kilos on that Honda, is going to find that a difficult ask, and I think that might be compromising his setup, because he's had to adjust accordingly.
As for sure, as there's 1 minute left to this qualifying session, so those who are in the pits, it's session over for them, and we see Dubé starting his last lap, as we see a yellow flag from Patrick Fournier backing out and returning to the pits, as we're with Ismaël Labrec coming out of turn 11, just going onto the main straight. He's on a good lap as well. We'll stick to him see if he can come back on the and take pole position right here. He's on a good lap. He might as well do, coming down to turn 12. Very hard on the brake.
Yeah.
Get as closest to apex as he can. Get the wide exit. Get back to the other side. Brake again to have a nice apex again. Double apex right here. And
Yeah,
another.
the infamous double right-hander where Max Verstappen did an illegal overtake on Kimi Räikkönen one year. But yellow flag's out again, and this could actually. That car's just gone back into the pits, but Labrec at the moment is about to hit turn number 19 as the qualifying hits 20 minutes. So that's going to be the last time that Labrec's going to get an opportunity. He wrestles with the steering wheel coming through turn 19. Look how wide he's put the car ready for turn 20. Hits the apex nicely, hits the curb, wrestles with the steering wheel a little bit. He's going to come across the line.
And
does he improve? Yes, he does. By 13,000. 13,000.
Yeah, pole position for Ismail Lebrec, unless Dubé can do something about it, which I doubt he can at this stage. Very quick lap, very great lap by Ismail Lebrec. 13 thousandths of a second, with Madar 7 thousandths of a second close behind. Incredibly close top three right here we have as Dubé completes his lap. Will he be able to improve? He will not. As David is back on pole position. So we have David. Yeah, he improved. Yeah, he improved up to 8th position for Maxime David, and he's first place in silver category, well ahead of Thibodeau, 3/10 ahead of his closest class competitor. So yeah, that's gonna be it for qualifying. Great performance by David here, and that was a great lap at the end by Lebrec, just managing to get everything, squeeze everything of that Honda with, I want to remind you, with 30 kilograms ballast on it. So very hard task to do, but he managed to do it just by Fournier right at the last lap for the pole position for this second round of the EGT Canada EGT Challenge. Here we see our standings right here for the overall class, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, Ismail Lebrec, 2 pole positions in a row by 13 thousandths of a second, and Patrick Fournier qualified quite well at Kyle Army. He's going to be alongside him on the front row. That's going to be an interesting battle going into T1. Whether Fournier can go high, wide and handsome around the outside at turn 1, but that's easier said than done. Mador, 3rd place, 73 thousandths covering the top 3. And then a further 3/10 back, Landry, and then Dubé, Baisden, Rassin, and then, of course, Maxime David taking pole position in silver. That was a great job by the Honda driver in the number 90, Bourdon, General de Guise in the BMW, doing a great job actually rounding out the top 10. Thibodeau, could have gotten a little bit closer, but I think Maxime David has got the better purchase in qualifying. Qualifying is one thing, and as they say in the United Kingdom, it's times for show, points to go, and that's what we're going to find out over 60 minutes. But yeah, I mean, the qualifying incredibly close. Top 24, rounded out by Jonathan Baudry, covered by less than 2 seconds, and that just shows how competitive this is. You can actually see Merci, who is second in the championship in the silver class, all the way down in 23rd position, and is on the fringes of the top 10 in silver. The thing is, the weight can impede you in qualifying, but in the race, if you have the right strategy, it can change a lot. And we've got like 4 minutes to go until the session begins. 60 minutes. But Thibodeau, even with 10 kilos of ballast, but then Deloitte, our race winner, 20th position in the silver class. That just shows how big that differential in terms of the weight penalties that are given. Well, it's a balance of performance adjustment, just so it brings everyone else into the mix. And we've had grading and paving dude. Let's go Marchand. And then Francois Hornet saying it's going to be an epic race tonight. And what's more, ladies and gentlemen, it is under the nighttime skies. So the first thing is, Nathaniel, okay, headlights will be ablaze. It will be difficult to pick your braking spots because all those reference points in qualifying, they go out the window.
You don't see him anymore. It's gotta be and for an hour we're gonna see these drivers push their limits, and they're gonna have to adapt obviously for these conditions. We're gonna be running an hour in nighttime. That can be very tiring for the eye. Actually, you wanna, as you said, those braking spots very hard to spot in the night. You don't have the same visual references that you have during the day, and you're gonna have to run an hour with conditions that you're not necessarily used to, with visual references, braking points. Everything is gonna be different, and obviously the temperature is gonna be a tad colder, and during the night we're gonna be at 20 degrees at race start. So it's gonna be very interesting to see these drivers battle out on the track.
Well, I think, shall we actually give our friends in Split 2 a little bit of a shout out, shall we? With their championship standings?
Yeah, Split 2 had a very great race last time out 2 weeks ago, as we see the championship standings for Split 2. So Thomas Hamriziak, correct me if I'm not pronouncing your name well, so sorry. Thomas Hamriziak won last 2 weeks ago in his McLaren GT3, is leading the silver class in Split 2 with Julien Levasseur in his Porsche in second place, Martin Chenaille in third place, again in the Porsche, with the McLaren of Sébastien Schneider in fourth place, Mario Bilodeau with the Bentley Continental GT3 in fifth place, Jean-François Champagne with the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo 6th place, Sébastien Petitio in the Nissan GT-R in 7th, Steve Savario in 8th, Guy Lavoie in 9th. Unfortunately, I don't think Guy Lavoie is going to be able to race today in Split 2, as he has some personal issues from what I've seen, so unfortunately he's going to be absent from today's race. And in 10th, running on the top 10, we have Steven Pacheco and his McLaren, with Pierre-Alexandre Lacoste, I need to add, in 11th, the winner of the amateur class last season. Pierre-Alexandre Lacoste sitting in 11th. With the amateur class now, we have André Moreau in first, Daniel Dubé in second, both BMWs, Chris Landry in third in his Audi, Tricia Maillot-Côté in fourth, Alain Gravel in fifth, Nicolas Dubois-Cloutier in sixth, Daou Pine in seventh, Olivier Bouchard in eighth, Tommy Simoneau in ninth, and Thomas Schneider in 10th. So it's again, in Split 2, these are drivers, especially in the silver categories, that could, that can have the speed to compete in the silver Split 1 category. They're quick drivers. The reason they're normally in the second split, however, is because normally there's some things like consistency that are not the same, racecraft, etc. Multiple factors but they're very quick. So, and it's a great spectacle. Unfortunately, we can't see them live. However, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Daou Pine, is it, or Dubois-Cloutier? Nicolas Dubois-Cloutier is streaming his point of view. If anyone wants to check that out, obviously we will have race recaps about a week after the race, recapping the whole race for the Split 2 category.
Yeah. Now, in the Lone Star State, the official formation lap for round 2 of the EGT Canada EGT3 Challenge underway. So, your grid is as follows. Ismail Labrec will lead Patrick Fournier from the front row, with Labrec with a second successive pole position. Mador and Landry round out the top 4 positions, with Dubé and Baisden rounding out row 3. Assa and silver pole sitter Maxime David round out row 4, with Bourdon and General de Guise running at the top 10. Thibodeau was in the hunt for pole position very early doors, but rounds out 11th position ahead of David Boulanger, with Bilodeau, Vallée, Prudhomme, Formato, Santours, Clermont, Marchand, Schneider running out the top 20. And with 36 cars on the grid, as Labrec has done a standout job here, Nathaniel. 30 kilos of ballast on that Honda, and he still gets pole by the narrowest of margins.
That's incredible, Alex. You've got to be incredibly quick to accomplish this feat. 13 thousandths, obviously, it's not much, and it's going to be a great battle during the first few moments of the race. Hopefully, the whole race we get a nice battle between the top three. But obviously, very quick as Ismail Lebrec, with 30 kilograms, as you said. Putting that on pole is not something you can do just with the just with a flash of an eye. No, it's pure skill and yeah, very great performance in qualifying. Let's see how it holds up in the race, however, because obviously if you have more weight on the car, your tires are gonna be going out more quickly. So that may hurt his pace down the line. It's it's a 1 hour race, obviously. It's a very long race, and these 30 kilograms can definitely hurt his race pace. So we'll have to wait and see for that. That might be the chance. But Patrick Fournier and Medal might want to wait. They might wait a bit till Lebrec. Obviously, his tires will go out a little bit earlier than the others, so they may be patient and try to go, or they're trying to go on the first lap and into turn 1 and get a move there. We will have to wait and see.
Yes, indeed. We're about to get things underway with green flags waiting on the start-finish straight. 1 hour, round 2 of the EGT3 challenge here on EGT Canada. Thank you very much for joining us all. Ismail Lebrec, the current pro championship leader, has Patrick Fournier alongside, who scored nothing at Kyle Army. We are waiting with bated breath. Delroit, the silver class leader, down in 33rd position, has got a huge mountain to climb, and that's what they're going to face going into turn 1. The 36 strong field head into the night here in Texas. The green flag waves, and we're underway. Great start from Lebrec. Fournier holding back. Merdor looking up the inside. Landry looking to stick his Lamborghini's front bumper into the mix and goes side by side with the Audi 3 into turn 1. They do rub door panels, and they're still side by side heading into turn 2 for the first time. But Lebrec gets a good move. Dubé and Baisden side by side as well. And David has got a good start in the silver class lead in 8th position, but there is Medor still trying to close on Landry. Baisden waiting in the wings, seeing if anything will happen, but Lebrec already has got an early lead on Patrick Fournier as they're heading into turn 8, but a good start. But there has been multiple incidents behind them, one of which was the number 1 car. That was Danik Vallée, unfortunately. So he's been caught up in an incident. So is the 711, amongst other cars. But there has been some little bit of contacts. But the field looks to be relatively in a good snake train at the moment. But General de Guise battling away with Thibodeau, who now... Right, now what on earth has happened to our pole sitter?
With Maxim David, he's now sitting in 35th position all the way down the field, so he's probably got involved in an accident. We will have to wait to see for the replay. He's been involved in the contact, so we will have to see for the replay after this first lap what has happened to him. There's been a contact with multiple cars down the field. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see, but we're gonna see the replay soon enough as we see Thibodeau putting some pressure on General de Guise, who got back the position. And further up, it's Baisden and Madar, who are very close together in this long right-hander. Baisden's gonna try to take the inside of... Oof, that was very close.
That was close.
Yeah, tried to get the inside of Madar there, but Madar closed the door, and Baisden had no choice but to bail out there. However, I think Baisden's gonna get a better exit out of the final corner here on the start-finish straight, with Ismail Lebrec leading, and it's Dubé actually putting some pressure on Baisden right here.
Yeah, well look at Landry. Landry's up to 3rd position from 4th on the grid. So had a rocket ship start in the Zealous Motorsport 711 Lamborghini, and he's about 9/10 behind Patrick Fournier. So Fournier is going to use strategy here. Lebrec, as we saw at Kyle Army, along with Jonathan Boivin, who is not here tonight. That's the biggest thing. We're going to be denied of a battle between those two, as Dubé runs very, very wide. That's going to be an instant track cut, and Rassat is right with him in the 223 Bentley. Boulanger is not too far behind. Thibodeau is battling with Formato. They're not battling over position, but keep your eyes on the 166 of McLaren of Prudhomme, who is closing and is about a second behind the number 33 Honda that is still leading the silver class. Well, it is now leading the silver class after the first 3 minutes.
As things die down here. Oh no, never mind. Things really don't die down here. Prudhomme going down the inside of that Porsche of Michael Formato. Formato goes wide. It's gonna be side by side in the long straight as we see Danik Valet.
That's Valet.
And Prudhomme closes the door down the inside. It's gonna be 3 wide down into turn 12, and it's gonna be.
Valet's got the inside line.
Yeah,
Valet's got the inside line on this one. Yeah, Thibodeau will have to respond, and
there's contact between Valet and at least
Formato.
Yeah, that was Formato as Prudhomme very late on the brakes there. Very late on the brake. Very great move by Prudhomme. Very aggressive defending by Prudhomme. Nearly closing Valet down in the grass in the interior line. He pushed him really far in that line, and he managed to get the position over these two. So great battle and great racecraft between these two. Danik Valet is for sure not going to be happy about it, however.
Formato's very close to the back bumper of Valet just then. That was coming through into turn 19 as they come around to complete another lap. So after 2 laps, Ismail Abrek has a 2.6 second lead over Patrick Fournier. Then we've got Landry, Mador, Beesden, Dubé, Rassa, Belanger, General de Guise and Thibodeau still hanging on to that silver class lead, but Prudhomme is about nearly a second behind. But you see the differential now between Prudhomme and Valet after that contact with Formato. Valet now has to get a wriggle on, but look at Mador, he's closing on Landry like a house on fire right now.
He's very anxious. He wants to get that 3rd place back. Mador is very close behind the Lamborghini. However, Landry gets a good exit right here. He's gonna pull away just a little bit, and he's not gonna be under pressure down into turn 11. At least for now, unless Mador goes for a very late dive. He is not. He's gonna try and tuck in the slipstream of Landry in that very long straight, as Fournier is not too far ahead. Lebrec has a very great lead, 3.3 seconds as we see Mador in the slipstream of Marc-Antoine Landry. Will he be close enough to go for a move down into turn 12? He just points his nose down the inside, backs out. He just wants to let him know he's here, not gonna go for a move right here. As we're gonna go now to turn 13, the double apex right-hander. Is he gonna take the inside? No, he is not. So yeah, very great battle between these two. Very great defending by Landry. However, I must add, as Mador goes over the orange curbs. You don't want to go over those curbs, as you see. He lost a lot of position. As we see a yellow flag, it's Baudry who lost control.
Oh dear, the number 20, the number 163, who's now going to be out of the top 5 in the silver classification. I've just been keeping an eye on Maxime David in the number 90. He's now up to 34th. Deloitte has made it up to 32nd position. Prudhomme has had a car there as well.
With Thibodeau, he had a contact with Thibodeau there. We're gonna take a quick look at what just happened between these two. There's been a contact between the two, so we're gonna see what happened right here, and we're gonna have a replay of the start after.
Oh, he tagged him. He tagged him. Thibodeau spun around and then collected Prudhomme whilst doing the 180, and they both recovered. And now Danik Valet is leading the silver class in the number 1 Audi in 10th position.
What a start of this race we had, Alex. What a start of this race. Some great battling between these drivers. Like, only now have time to show some of the replays, and we're going to see what happened to Maxime David at the start. He got caught up in an accident. We'll see what happened at the start here.
He's probably going to get tagged. Yeah, look, you see General de Guise. Yeah, that was possibly, yeah, that was one of the Bentleys.
It's a slight tap as well. It's a slight tap.
I think it could be Bourdon who's actually behind him at the moment that may have caused the contact. I think I recognise the livery there, but Trepanier and I think that's Lacasse, maybe?
The two Hondas, yeah. The number 34, Lacasse. Oh, as Trepanier goes for the switchback, it's going to work. They're going to be not quite side by side in the long straight.
but it could be. Well, it nearly is now. Trepanier could get the momentum, but look how far to the right Trepanier is right now behind Lacasse as they hurtle their way. And Trepanier is going to try and go late break into turn 12. Goes for it, makes the move, and that's a clean pass on Lacasse for 17th position. But Lacasse still rounding out the top 6 in the silver class. Prudhomme and Prudhomme is currently sitting 16th, despite that tangle with Triboudor, who's now down outside of the top 20 overall. But Steve Santours is having a bit of better luck in the Mercedes at the moment in the number 96. Currently sitting in what will be 11th position, well, probably 12th position in the overall classification, which will score the number 96 from Team GTQ CQ some points, as he's now closing in on Schneider in the number 67 McLaren in front. And then you see Formato and Valet going into battle. Valet still leading the silver class, but it is the number 67 of Schneider. That is Jeremy Schneider. That is it. And look, Santours is just absolutely putting on the pressure, going through into this complex of corners. They are at high speed. They're at 5th gear, probably over the best part of 220 kilometers an hour at some points, and they are really, really going for it. And we take a look back from the number 67 McLaren 720S. GT3, and you can just see the amount of sideways momentum, and I'm sure that the sidewalls on these tyres are screaming for they're screaming blue murder right now, Nathaniel.
As the Valet and Schneider both get caught up in a battle with a pro category driver, as it's the same thing for Formato and Santos, who both gets caught up in a battle with a silver category driver. And they're, obviously both duos are very close to each other, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Let's say Danik Valet wants to let Formato pass to not lose too much time to Formato, so Schneider doesn't catch him. We'll see, and will Schneider want to do the same thing with Santos and try to follow him, or will he try to defend the position? Because those are not their standings, right? Schneider's battling Santos, who's a pro driver, and the same thing Formato's battling Danik Valet, who's a silver driver. And Santos goes wide a bit here on the apex, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out strategy-wise, as Mador is putting some pressure on Marc-Antoine Landry down the start-finish line. Is he going to be close enough for a move? He's on a slipstream. He's at 0.3 seconds right here, the closest we've seen in the last few laps. He's not going to
goes late on the race from Mador. Look at how he bumps over the curbs. Interesting development, Nathaniel. I've seen that Thibodeau has ended up in the pit lane and has not moved for a considerable amount of time. And at the same point, I saw the number 12 Bentley, that's the silver class driver of David Boucher, has just exited pit road just a handful of moments ago. But I think that damage through that contact with Prudhomme a few moments ago, that might have ended Thibodeau's opportunity to score points, because that Honda is clearly not moving.
It is unfortunate. That may be a retirement for Thibodeau, which is incredibly.
Ooh.
As we've had a big shunt, Max Baudry, big shunt in the Lexus here. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that Lexus is going to be very. He's reversing on. At least he held his brakes. Oh, and is he just obliged? Oh no, he just lost it.
He just lost it.
Just went. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he just lost it going over the curb there, and straight into the wall. That's gonna be a damaged Lexus. As Clermont has had an accident as well. Clermont has had an accident as well. Has dropped in 28th. Had a yellow flag out for it. Clermont. While we were watching the replays, and can we see what has happened to Clermont? I believe we can. We're gonna take a look what happened to Clermont.
He's just gone too hot, and that is probably. Oh, he's tangled.
God,
that might be.
That's the McLaren of Schneider.
Jeremy Schneider. In fact, the same thing happened to Schneider at Kyalami as well, didn't it? Schneider was battling for a really good position and then got taken out.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
We well, you and I both know, thank goodness for our position here, we're not the ones that make decisions on post-race penalties, and I'm sure that is going to be one of multiple incidents that will be investigated, because we've had for those watching on the YouTube stream, thank you very much for joining us. Good to see the likes. Show your support for who you are cheering for tonight, and you can actually see that in the description on the EGT Challenge TV YouTube channel. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. There is a link for the live timing that you can follow along, which we are seeing right now, as Marc-Antoine Landry is still having pressure from behind. But keep your eyes, apart from Mador, you've got Bezdin and Dubé. You look at that trio, they are covered by probably the best part, just around about a second and a half. So this battle for
yeah, very
Mador,
close,
very close.
There. Unfortunately, that's gonna compromise his exit there, and he's gonna be under pressure by Bezdin. I was gonna say Marc-Antoine Landry is doing his best job as a train driver right now, just keeping in front of those three drivers behind, as Dubé points his nose down the inside. It's not gonna go for a move right here. A very close. Oh my God! Look at the distance between those three. And Bezdin is he gonna go for a move down the inside right here? Mador keeps the outside line. Is very close contact. Mador keeps the position as Dubé puts pressure. Now that compromises Bezdin a little bit. Dubé's gonna be right in the mix right now. Going through this.
Well, yeah, Mador's become the EGT3 challenge version of Jarno Trulli, back when the Italian had his days in Formula 1 and everyone used to call it the Trulli train. It's now the Mador train, and he's leading two other cars, but you can see that Hassan is not too far away in the background in the 223 Bentley. He's about a second or so away from this battle. But looking at the silver class side of things, the number one of Danick Valet is leading comfortably, and the closest driver is, funnily enough, is Jean-Luc Marchand in the number 14 Lexus, with Mathieu Prudhomme rounding out the top three in the silver class. Prudhomme is quite a distance away. He's about 2.2. He's about a couple of seconds away, but there is Marchand, and
yeah, we see.
And Prudhomme's actually got past him. Marchand's actually been passed by Prudhomme. So whether, just going to have a quick look at the lap times. Yeah, Marchand had a difficult second sector, and it got even worse in sector number 3. So Marchand lost time to Prudhomme. Thereby the 166 was able to retake 13th position, and thereby get back second place in the silver class.
Something interesting right here, Alex, is the number 96 of Steve Saint-Ours, the Mercedes AMG, has the highest speed trap with 257 kilometers an hour right here, sitting in 12th position. So that Mercedes obviously very quick in a straight line. 257 kilometers as the others normally. We see Valet with a 255 kilometers. So very quick in the straight line. That Mercedes of Saint-Ours currently sitting comfortably in 12th position.
Well, by my reckoning, converting that from kilometers an hour, so 257 kph into miles an hour, that is about 160 miles an hour. Oh, Dubé nearly into the back end of Bezdin, and that was coming through turn 15. That was incredibly close between the Bentley and the Ferrari. And for those wondering, how do we know that they've taken their pit stops? When the amber towel with the number 1 on it goes green, right by their race number, as we are on board with Laurence Dubé in the test racing. 488 runs wide, very wide out of turn 19, and Dubé could get the slingshot. We're going to stay on board with the Ferrari for the moment as they come out of turn number 20. Hard on the power, up the gears. So they'll probably be pulling at least 4th, maybe 5th gear right now, as you can see the LED indicators. But Dubé he's looking, but look at Hassan. Hassan has been closing that gap rather quickly, because those two in front, Bezdin and Dubé, have been battling away. So Bezdin leads the battle, which is the 3-car squabble over 5th place.
Just in front, we have Mador putting some pressure, and Marc-Antoine Landry, which still holding his own in 3rd place. Marc-Antoine Landry in the Lamborghini. And Mador putting some great pressure, 206.5 from Mador last lap, whereas Marc-Antoine Landry had a 207.3, so quite a bit quicker from Mador. And as Sparks coming off that Lamborghini, coming off turn 10. Madal is not going to be close enough for a move. Is he going to... Late on the brakes, however. Very late on the brakes. Is he going to get a good exit? I don't think so, considering how late he braked. Yeah, as we see Landry pulling a bit on the exit of the corner, as however, Dubé putting some pressure on Basin. So we have nice battles right here. That's not the camera angle we want. There you go.
Yeah, and now he's about to look up the inside. Is he going to send it? Yeah, he nearly did. He nearly did, but he backed out of it. You can see that car sort of wiggling under braking a little bit. So Basin just kept it on the racing line, which is perfectly entitled to do, but Dubé was waiting for that opportunity. They're going to have to go through the twisty stuff here at turns 13, 14, 15, then through the triple right at 16, 17 and 18. But if Dubé can get a good launch out of turns 19 and 20, if he sees that Basin does run wide out of turn 19 like he did on the previous tour, then that could give him the opportunity. But you cannot count out Kevin Rassin just behind in the 2-2-3. This battle has gone on so long that Rassin has got the ringside seat. You can see the back of the shop there. Behind Dubé, there is Rassin as they come out of turn number 20. A good run from Dubé, but a bit more composed this time after what has been our 9th lap. And Ismail Abrek now has a 7.6 second lead over Patrick Fournier.
That's an absolutely ridiculous pace from Ismail Lebrec. 206.5 his last lap, whereas everybody else is lapping in the 207s. Currently holds the fastest lap as well with a 205.8. This is a qualifying time, nearly a qualifying time. It's incredible performance right here by Ismail Lebrec. It's 9 seconds down to Fournier.
That's ridiculous. I mean, like 3/4 of a second off your qualifying lap time. You know what we saw? You know what we saw in Kyle Army, Nathaniel? We saw that Lebrec and Boivin were getting quicker and quicker, and I think, if I remember correctly, Lebrec was actually quicker in the race than he was in his qualifying time.
It's, I don't know how these drivers do it, honestly. It's Alex, I have no clue. It's
I think the word I have to say right now is chapeau.
Yeah, chapeau to Ismail Lebrec indeed. As Mador is as close as he's ever been to Marc-Antoine Landry, as we see the back marker.
Oh, that's getting a bit close. Yeah, that's getting a bit close. There's been an incident behind. There's been an incident behind one of the Bentleys. That was a back marker that just got turned around, and I'm just looking to see who that might have been.
I think that's
might have been Boucher. Might have been David Boucher, possibly in the number 12.
Yeah. The number 12, Boucher. Well, Boucher, he was right in the mix. He was right there, Boucher. Quite hampered a bit based on that corner exit. Fortunately, he didn't lose the position to Dubé. Dubé nearly got the position off from that. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I think they both really just went, oh dear, we've got a back marker in front, and that now with 21 minutes of the race completed, just under 39 minutes still to go, and as you can see, the amber towers have not yet turned green for all of the competitors in the top 23, rounded out by Jeremy Schneider, who had that incident earlier. But Danny Cavalier has got a very comfortable lead in the silver class. He's about 5 seconds ahead of Prudhomme in the 166, but Jean-Luc Marchand is trying to close in on the 166 McLaren in his number 14 Lexus. But just sort of seeing that Basin is pulling away a little bit from Dubé, as Marchand has got, I think that is Trepanier just behind him, the number 84. Yeah,
putting some pressure on Marchand. Sorry. Want to get past them, obviously. Want to get as far up. Santos is up in 12th place currently, the next competitor for Trepanier, so you want to pass these silver category drivers as quickly as possible to get to your main competitor. Obviously, your class, your class competitor to 208.2 last lap for Trepanier, whereas Marchand is a 208.5. As Marchand runs incredibly wide, nearly loses it on the exit of turn 9 right here. So we may see a move down into turn 12 by Trepanier, as he's gonna tuck inside the slipstream of that Lexus in the never mind, in the long straight, not in the start-finish straight, but this long straight between turn 11 and turn 12. It's right in the slipstream.
I'm just having a look at what's happening in terms of now.
Not good and close.
Danik Valet coming into this championship round was on 10 points, having played 6 at Kyle Army. I've just been keeping an eye on Jeremy Deloire, who started all the way down in 34th position. He's now up to 24th in the number 17 Ferrari. But the way things are going, Thibodeau is out. That car has not moved at all. Merci is 27th at the moment, which puts him towards the bottom end of the points. So this could mean with Thibodeau, Schneider coming into problems, Baudry coming into problems as well. Where is Baudry? 21st at the minute, which puts him in, I would estimate, probably 10th or 11th position. This could mean that after this second round, Danik Vele could be leading the silver class if he stays where he is, and that will put him on 35 points.
Very great race has Danik Vele driven right now, so to keep that composure, obviously with a battle with Formato, and he's at the earlier stage of the race, and he's still putting some pressure actually on Formato. So he's still moving up in the overall standings, well, or at least still trying to move up, as he wants to get as far away from Prudhomme as possible. Both men have similar pace, however, Danik Vele and Prudhomme. Danik Vele ran a 208.05 last lap, whereas Prudhomme has ran a 208.08, so very similar pace from these two drivers. So Prudhomme can't catch really Danik Vele currently, and he has 2 pro category drivers in front of him. So that's gonna complicate his job a little bit, and we may see. But remember, the pit stops have not arrived yet. We may see some shenanigans with the pit stops. So that's gonna be very interesting to see. As remember last race in Calami, Ismail Lebrecq did a nice undercut on Boivin and took first place and won the race that way. Apparently Boivin had some issues on the pit stop. He told after the race he had some issues at the pit stop with his car not restarting, with his car stalling in the pit lane.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So anything can happen in the pit lane, and that's gonna change the order of the standings. I'm quite sure, Alex.
Yeah, well, that mean that if Ismail Lebrecq keeps on like he is, that's going to be a maximum score after 2 rounds of 50 points. And this is going to help the likes of Patrick Fournier, Steve Santos. They'll all score points. General de Guise didn't have any points last time, but out at Kyle Army will place 10th, and that will be 6 points for the number 74 BMW. So there are several drivers, General de Guise, Santos and Fournier, have not scored this season so far. Silver, there are probably the best part of about 11 drivers, Parent, David, Gagnon, Baudry, Clermont, Balik, Grenier, Lacasse, Christian Dubé. Mathieu Prudhomme has not even got off the starting grid with starting blocks with any points scored, and he's on course at the moment with nearly half of the race completed. With a possibility of having 20 points, so that will catapult him into that, that top 15 echelon. I like the way like the way that you said the word shenanigans. I'm going to add a little bit to that. With the pit stops, the cat will be thrown amongst the pigeons, good sir.
Definitely. Patrick Tepani is watching the last few seconds, the last few moments of the race. Trepanier is getting very anxious right here to pass Marchand. He wants to pass him. He knows this quicker. He wants to get the opportunity to pass Marchand and get closer to Santos. 32 minutes left in this race, so nearly at the halfway point. Trepanier is gonna take a wide exit here. All 4 wheels went off the circuit right here, so you gotta wonder if that's gonna be a track cut for him. After running wide, pulling a lot of pressure on Marchand here, braking later here, trying to set up for an exit overtake, but they're both gonna run wide a bit. we're gonna have the right-hander now, the long right-hander. It's not gonna be close enough for a move right now, but he's getting very anxious to pass Marchand. He knows he's not, it's, you know, his main competitor, but obviously Marchand doesn't want to lose that place too, this seems like, as you know, Bilodeau's not too far behind, and but also as Marchand you could try and let him pass and try to catch up Prudhomme using Trépanier, so it's, you know, it's Marchand's choice to decide who runs out wide on the orange curbs. That's gonna give Trépanier an opportunity right here. It's very hard to pass here, though. However, so very hard to pass in these S's.
Yeah. I think one of the other things here, Nathaniel, is the fact you've got a naturally aspirated V8 versus a V6 turbo, and always with the turbochargers they will have a little bit of lag. Even with the cooler conditions, they'll have a little bit more air. But here is Dubé and Bezdin going down into T12 as the number 70 Ferrari sends it up the inside. That's a late braking maneuver. He's going to run wide on the exit, and Bezdin gets back through to retake 5th position. I saw that one coming a mile off, and I thought Dubé's probably just outbraked himself. And that's exactly what happened. Ran a little bit wide. That's possibly an unwanted track cut. But when you go for that kind of maneuver, when you're trying to get past a car that is considerably bigger and punching that lovely hole in the dirty air for you, but your car's going to aerodynamically be a little bit more unstable. It's going to be a little bit more loose on the back end, as one of the other things that we see here on Assetto Corsa Competizione is when the lights are on the cars and it's in the nighttime sky, you end up going through the complex at around about 16, 17 and 18, that there is a concert going on as well with these strobe lights in the air. So, and look at that, it's a wonderful camera shot there on the start-finish straight, just seeing the headlights ablaze, the grandstands lit up by the floodlights, and the virtual crowds in the stands as Mador still trying to put that pressure on Marc-Antoine Landry for that 3rd place. It's been a good battle between these two as we've hit the halfway point. So at the moment, your current class, well, let's put it in this way, your top 5 in the respective classes, Ismail Abrec leads Patrick Fournier by 11.5 seconds. Antoine Landry and Guillaume Mador round out the top 4, and Danny Bezdin rounding out the top 5, still having pressure from behind currently, thanks to Laurence Dubé. But then looking at the other side of things, Danick Vellier in 10th overall leads the silver class. Second, it's Mathieu Prudhomme, Jean-Luc Marchand. Then we've also got Jean-François Bilodeau, and also Sébastien Lacasse running at the top 5 in the silver class, as Mador has got the drive-through. I was waiting for something like that, so Mador has got to serve a drive-through penalty, and it's a very long it's a bit of a lengthy pit stop, so he's got to serve that within 3 laps. Otherwise, that goes to a stop-go 30 here on the server.
Yeah, I think he might have been hampered by the McLaren of Parent. And as coming out of turn 11, Marc-Antoine Landry and Mador both went really wide, trying to avoid the bike marker. Unfortunately, I think that might have given the track cut for Guillaume Mador, as Dubé and Bezdin are side by side coming out of turn 11. And Bezdin is gonna remain in front because he has the inside lane. Ooh, that's very interesting. We'll see what happened there between those both.
I think there's been a bit of paint swapping. Yeah, there's a bit of door rubbing as well on the left-hand side of Bezdin's car, and then Dubé trying to close on in through turns 16, 17 and 18, but the Bentley just having the waft behind it just to pull away as Mador pits. The drive-through, Dubé now comes in, so we're going to see the first set of pit stops of Danny Bezdin in the number 52 Bentley, who is now 2.7 seconds behind Marc-Antoine Landry, who has done a great job in that Lamborghini. We have 4 different marks in the top 4, but Labrec has lost a little bit of time. Labrec has lost a little bit of time to Fournier. So, has that 30 kilos started scrubbing those tyres a bit too aggressively? Because Labrec lost a bag full of time in the first sector, lost a bit in sector 2 to Fournier by nearly a tenth and a half. There's Michael Formato in the number 200 Porsche, running at the top 7. So Dubé, the first of the main protagonists in this race, having battled away with Danny Baisden for a lengthy time, will rejoin the race, as there's quite a few more pit stops. I think there's several cars in the pits, so I think some people might have decided, well, I'm going to get to the halfway point, I'm going to need to put some fuel in, and some of those cars might be stationary for some new tyres as well, because this circuit is so abrasive.
Delworth and Simon both are in the pits as well. Important thing to add about Madar, his drive-through penalty. Ooh, that's Généreux de Guise going over the curves. The drive-through penalty for Madar doesn't count as a pit stop, so he'll have to come in again for his pit stops after, so that's gonna be really hurting his race, as Généreux de Guise has lost that position to Santos after going over the orange curbs. You saw the BMW bouncing over, and Prudhomme is gonna try and take the advantage, as well as Madar is not too far behind. After having served that penalty, Prudhomme is gonna be pointing his nose down the inside. He wants to get that place off Généreux de Guise. Généreux de Guise doing a good job, however, to defend from Prudhomme, and Madar is now gonna be on the back of on Prudhomme now, so it's gonna be Prudhomme now under pressure from Madar after that. Obviously, Madar wants to try and repair his race a little bit. I'm sure that's very frustrating for him, but you gotta get your head down in that situation. As Généreux de Guise dives down into the pits, you want to get your head down in that kind of situations. Obviously, it's very frustrating as a driver when you get a penalty. As Prudhomme and Madar, they both go wide out of the last corner, and they both hit the sausage curbs. So sparks coming off from both cars. I wonder if Madar didn't see what was coming in front of him because of Prudhomme's car. But yeah, it's you gotta get your head down for Madar right here.
He's got to not let that drive-through penalty phase him. You know, that is a bit of insult to injury, so to speak. But he's just got to carry on and just charge as far forward as he can, because he's got 25 minutes to serve that final pit stop. Généreux de Guise and Tapanier are in the pits now. They will drop out of the top 15 overall, but they will have a little bit of a march. Baudry has made some good progress back. Jonathan Baudry up to 20th position, but also that puts him in the top 7 in the silver class as the 163 Lexus makes its way through around about turn 7, turn 8 as we speak. But yeah, Dubé is now going to have maybe a little bit of an advantage. He'll understand how the track has evolved, and if he's put a new fresh set of boots and put on there. Also, one other thing, Marc Nicolas in the number 19 Mercedes was due to actually join us tonight, but he said, I've had a mechanical problem, and I've just had a look on the back of his steering wheel in the Discord, we've now had another drive-through. That is the 956 Audi of Vincent Roy, who's had, and I think there's probably another driver that's going to be thinking, oh, why on earth did that happen to me?
I can attest, and as you said at the beginning of this broadcast, the track limits here at the Circuit of the Americas, they're not very forgiving, as we have a yellow flag. It's Clermont. It's Clermont. What has happened to Clermont? It's got to be a retirement for him.
That's 2 on the bounce. That is 2 on the bounce for David Clermont. That's a real shame, because at one point he was battling hard. He had an incident earlier on in the race, and now lightning, unfortunately, has struck twice for the 227.
Unfortunately, I can't see what happened to Clermont, so that's unfortunate. It's got to be 2 times in a row for Clermont. That's that he retires from the race, as we're with David Bélanger here sitting in 6th position. Has still yet to do his pit stop. The podium finisher at Calais 2 weeks ago, as he's sliding his Bentley out of turn 9. As Kevin Racine is runs wide out of turn 11. Was close to Basin, not so close now, as there's still the Madar has finally gone past Prudhomme here, so Madar has half completed his mission. Now he wants to get Saint-Ours, obviously. Yep. Saint-Ours is not too far in front. He's gonna want to catch up. Mathieu Prudhomme is gonna try to follow Madar, and try, you know, to be in the slipstream and catch Danik Valley that way, because otherwise they're both running in similar pace. Still, again, Prudhomme and Valley, the two front runners in silver. Danik Valley's last lap is a 2:08.4, and Prudhomme is a 2:08.2. So slightly quicker, but with the distance he has with 21 minutes, it's gonna be very close, very hard to catch him at this point. As you know, we were talking earlier about how Ismail Lebrec has lost some time to Fournier. Well,
he's gained it back.
Yeah, he's gained it back. 14.2 seconds. And 2:06.8 his last lap. So at the 40 minutes in this race, it's nearly 40 minutes in this race. It's very great performance by Ismail Lebrec. It's yeah. It's I don't have the words, honestly. He's been incredibly quick throughout this race, and just that last lap of qualifying definitely changed the complexion of the race for him, because otherwise he'd have started third if he didn't improve on that last lap. And you know, you don't know where he'd have been right now. He might have been stuck behind Fournier, Madar, or Landry. You never know. And,
maybe even Baisden. I think the thing is that he knew that he had to do the business, and that's exactly what he's done. Martin, the number 27 McLaren, 16th, but was running in the top 6 in silver, has just pitted with just over 20 minutes to go. I have to give a shout out to Danik Vallée, who actually started in 15th position overall and is now up 7 places and still leading the silver class. Has been, and here we see Francois Lapointe in the 448 Honda trying to chase Dan Lacasse, who's about 2.7 seconds up the road through the previous intermediate, and that time has stayed about the same, but he's got Jonathan Baudry not too far behind in the 163 Lexus, who had that drama earlier on with that I think that was in qualifying, wasn't it, or something? It was in qualifying, and Baudry hit the wall and then decided to nearly end up doing a donut for the virtual fans at the circuit around about sort of turn 6.
I want to point out Dubé has done his pit stop, so he's now running clear to the end. He's been running in the 2:06s since his pit stop, so 2:06.9 his last lap. This is gonna be interesting when the front runners, when Baisden, Racine, and Landry, when they pit, where is gonna be Dubé with he's been quite a bit quicker. Baisden has done a 2:07.8 his last lap, whereas Dubé is, as I just said, 2:06.9, so quite a bit quicker since his last pit stop. So very interesting to see how his strategy plays out as we see the train from Medal he's got past Saint-Ours.
That's a good development there for Guillaume Mador, but still has to serve that pit stop. But as I said, he needed to get his head down. That's exactly what he's done. He's not let that drive-through penalty for track limits get under his skin. He needed to just calm down, focus in, tunnel vision, and have the blinkers on and just go, right, I know I've got the pace in this Audi. I know that I can push. But as long as he pushes within the limits, if he pushes a little bit further ahead, if he pushes a little bit too far forward, especially with the track temperature now down to 19 degrees Celsius. I mean, we were at 21 degrees during qualifying, we're now down to 19. There's Prudhomme, still not too far behind Steve Santos in the number 96 Mercedes-Benz, but obviously this is not a battle for position. But I think Prudhomme will do, I hope there might be a little bit of a strategy for the syndicate number 166 McLaren, because his nearest rival is currently leading the race, is 3 positions up the road, and what's more, between the pair of them there's about a 4-second gap. So Prudhomme decides to do the opposite to what Vallée does, depending on, of course, tyre wear, also on fuel level, because these cars are getting quicker and quicker, especially with the fact that you get ambient and track temperature that lowers. Okay, it's going to be difficult if you decide to put on a new set of tyres on the car, because you're going to spend another couple of more laps than when if it's like, say, 30 degrees, the tyres will warm up quicker. In these conditions, it's night time, and you've got those colder conditions to contend with. But if you know that you can keep those tyres for the majority of the race, you know that if you've got that pace behind you and Valet decides to put on a fresh set of boots, that's 30 seconds in the pit lane whilst putting fuel in, that could give the opportunity, I think, for Prudhomme to maybe undercut or do the over-under in the pit stops on Valet, but Valet will probably be wise to that.
Obviously, Valet will not want to lose the position in the pit lane. He's going to be very wary of Prudhomme's strategy. He's not too far behind. He's 5 seconds behind currently, sitting Prudhomme. So he's not too far behind. So Valet will be very wary of Prudhomme's strategy, as Alary is battling currently with Serge Martin for 25th place, as we see Ismaël Lebrec right behind them. So they're a train of McLarens right now with a Honda trying to pass them, and Calary is, yeah, he went out of the way for Lebrec.
Yeah.
Was
that was nearly a code brown for Ismaël Lebrec.
Yeah,
right
it was.
He was waiting and just thought, right, okay, just please get out of my way. I'm coming through. Blue flags will be waving, and it will be indicated to the drivers on their displays if there is a blue flag situation.
As now it's Martin's turn to get out of the way. So it's gonna be this blue flag situation is gonna be really benefited. Serge Martin here is gonna come out way in front of Alary. However, Alary is gonna get a great exit and turn 1 because Serge Martin took an inside line racing line. So that's gonna put the pressure on him throughout the next couple of corners. But yeah, as our race leader Lebrec has passed him, he's now 15.7 seconds in front of Patrick Fournier. His last lap, Alex, a 206.6.
That fuel level's coming down, and when he's lapping over nearly six tenths quicker than Patrick Fournier, I think Fournier knew that if I got it on the front row, I would have a chance. But the way that Lebrec timed that start to perfection over 45 minutes ago, I think Fournier knew, right, if I can't beat him, I've got to go for second, because he knows that's guaranteed points in the bag. Boivin's not going to score, so that means that Fournier and Boivin will be tied on points going into the next round, and that will be the Hungaroring on October the 11th. So Lebrec will be thinking, right, I've got an opportunity to do the double. He took pole in Kyle Army, and he's taken pole here at COTA, and he's won one race. He's 14 minutes away from getting the checkered for another second successive win. And the thing is that...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It was just like, the thing is, Boivin will now know, well, I've now got a battle on my hands, and it's not just Lebrec. Fournier is going to be a rival to him. You know, when you think about it, Boivin was the champion in season number 5 in the top split, with the final round, if I remember correctly, being at Circuit Zandvoort. More drivers. Lapointe has just come into the pits as well, but Lebrec, I think, has fueled this car for a very, very long opening stint, and that's what allowed him to get it's now a 15.1 second lead. Prudhomme very close to Santos. This is going through into turn 12. Mercedes gives the McLaren enough room to make the move, to still keep them line astern into 13, and it's a little bit of a tighter line taken by Prudhomme, but the grunt of that 6.2 litre naturally aspirated AMG lump under that Mercedes' front hood is going to give them an opportunity. But look, Santos bumps over the curbs, and that's exactly what Prudhomme needs around the outside through turn 16, and Prudhomme has got that move done and shuts the door through turn 18.
And now we have a battle for first and silver. He's gonna catch Valley, as Madar, I just want to point out, has passed Stanek Valley for 8th place. So now we're gonna have a battle for the first place in the silver class. As
Santos again on the sausage curbs, and he's got Dubé. Yeah, Dubé's gonna rifle past him. There we go, Dubé up the inside. up the incline, through into T1. Dubé will have this time to perfection. There he goes.
Great move by
Titan.
Dubé.
That was as soon as he saw Steve Santos going over those sausage curbs, he went, right, I've got his number, and just literally sailed past him, sent it into T1, knew where to brake, outbraked the Mercedes, did not go long like he did earlier on when he was battling along with the number 52 Bentley of Danny Bezdon, who's still sitting in 4th position. But as you said, Nathaniel, that we are still waiting for the top 10 overall, plus also those from 12th to 15th that have yet to pit. So Dubé might have pulled the biggest undercut known to man on Assetto Corsa Competizione, but that depends on what happens to those in front. And Dubé now does a Santos through turn 11, out wide, bumps over the sausage curbs, and now you can see the Santos is starting to close on the run down to T12.
With the powerful Mercedes AMG, it's not going to be close enough for a move right here. So Dubé's job is going to be to pull away from Santos in these next few corners. Obviously, Dubé has done his pit stop, Santos hasn't, so he doesn't want to be too caught up fighting against him. But Santos, I don't think he wants to give up that place just yet. But it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up, definitely, as Marc-Antoine Landry in 3rd place, still a very respectable pace right now, 207.4 his last lap. Very, very great race right now, driven by Marc-Antoine Landry. Incredible rocket start by him, and he's kept that 3rd place. As you see his Lamborghini just pushing the limits right here of the S's, of the track limits. As it gets loose a bit.
I've just seen a big old chunk of time taken out of Michael Formato in the number 200. Guillaume Mador is less than 2 seconds behind, and that is going to be the battle for 7th position. Mador has yet to serve his pit stops, despite having that drive-through. I did say he just needed to get his head down, and that's exactly what he's doing. We've only got a 6th of this race left to go. We're into the final 10 minutes of round 2 here at COTA. And now, who is going to roll Snake Eyes? Who's going to roll lucky number 7, like they're at a blackjack table in a casino? Because Lebrec has got more than enough time to get that car into the pits. Fournier's got to decide when he pits. Landry, Bezdon, Rassin, Boulanger, Formato, Mador, Vallée and Prudhomme. And look at the gap between Vallée and Prudhomme. It's 3.9 seconds. And that's the battle for the silver class lead.
As Dubé has gone past Prudhomme now. So Prudhomme is... Ooh, I was going to say he's going to try to follow Dubé, but that's not how he's going to do it. Jumping over those curbs, that's not going to do the floor. The floor's not going to be happy about that one. Yeah, Dubé is now going to be chasing Vallée now. We'll see. But yeah, Prudhomme has really closed that gap, I believe, over Vallée. Let me check the gap between both of them. Actually, it's remained the same for the past few laps.
But Prudhomme on the previous lap was about nearly 7/10 of a second quicker than Vallée on that particular occasion.
209.4 Danik Vallée last lap, whereas Prudhomme was a 208.7, so quite a bit quicker by Prudhomme. It's gonna be interesting to see. 8 minutes left now. 8 minutes 30 left in this race. So we're gonna have to see in the next few laps, in the next 2 or 3 laps, we're gonna see drivers coming in for their obligatory pit stop for this race, and that's where it's going to all unfold.
And then maybe those shenanigans that you were talking about might rear their ugly heads, because that's what we're waiting for, as Mador really closing in, putting the pressure onto Formato for 7th position. They're going through turn... That's a great comeback. Currently going through turns 3, 4, 5. They are absolutely flying, these two at the moment. 5th gear, probably the best part of 140 miles an hour. As they're going to go through into T7, now into the next right-hander here at 8, which tightens, then into the next left at 9. You can see that Mador has got the pace over the Porsche. That Porsche on the straight line stuff, and also through the twisty, faster corners, is struggling. When you think about it, it's a flat 6 boxer turbocharged engine as Mador goes really close into turn 11. He's going to get the run out of the corner. Now it's a long drag down this straightaway, so we're going to keep on board with Mador for the moment as he's right on the back bumper of Formato. Is Mador going to send it? He might look now, because look at the closing speed. Look at the overspeed that Audi's got on the Porsche. And now he pulls to the inside. That's a great move from Mador on Formato. And Formato has no option but to move out of the way. Mador gets through. That's P7. And Fournier's in the pits.
Fournier's in the pits right now. So we have our first front runner in the pits with Marc-Antoine Landry following him. So Marc-Antoine Landry is gonna try the same strategy as Fournier. He's gonna try, not gonna try to undercut him, not gonna try to overcut him. He's gonna do the same exact thing as Fournier. So Baisden takes second provisionally. It's gonna be interesting to see where they end up. So we'll keep an eye on this, as Fournier is already gone and Marc-Antoine Landry is also. Two very quick pit stops from both these drivers. Kevin Racine now in third and David Bélanger in fourth. Obviously, they still have to do their pit stop. We'll see compared to Dubé where these drivers come out, as Dubé is on their start finish straight, and yeah, they're gonna be well clear of Dubé, Marc-Antoine Landry, and Fournier.
Yeah, Vallée, Prudhomme, Marchand, all in the pits from the silver class. So that's the top three. And Vallée and Prudhomme all in the pits. And there's Marchand, there's and at the back there's Vallée. So they're all in the pits. And
Prudhomme gets away.
Prudhomme gets away. Was there a problem from Danick Vallée there?
So
was there a problem for Danick Vallée?
Yeah.
He might have taken on a little bit more fuel.
Prudhomme takes the lead right here in silver class.
And Marchand up to second. Santos is going to be ahead of Vallée as they come out of the pit, so it's going to be a 5.5 minute sprint race between these three cars. That is
what a development here with Prudhomme overtaking Vallée in the pits. They both win at the same time, but a much quicker stop from Prudhomme, and he is going to be in front of Vallée as Lacasse and Bilodeau have yet to stop.
They're back in the pit. Leader's in the pit lane.
The race leader is in the pit lane, so but he's gonna be well clear unless there's a major problem for him in the pit lane. He's gonna be well clear of his other competitors as Baisden dives in the pits. This is where it gets interesting with Dubé coming in, Marc-Antoine Landry also. Dubé is 4.7 seconds behind Marc-Antoine Landry, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Well, the thing is, I am just seeing what's happening on the track. Fournier is about to come through turn 19, and Labrec has just exited out of the pit lane and going through T1. So Labrec, again, another well-timed pit stop. Knew he had the time in hand to do so as they come across lines. So Baisden and Boulanger will drop down the order. Hassan is going to be one of the last to pit along with Mador and Formato. Bilodeau, Lacasse still have not pitted. I think probably the next time around they will have to pit. Otherwise, any driver that fails to do the mandatory pit stop in the race will get an automatic 2-minute and 10-second time penalty added to their race via the server, which I've seen before where people have not served the pit stop window and they've gone, yeah, I was doing well until I forgot to pit. And that's a mistake that these drivers will not want to do. Bilodeau now in the pit lane from the silver class lead, which will then put Lacasse into the provisional silver class lead. But looking at Danick Vallée is way down the order. He's behind Morancy. That's an interesting twist. Merci now has actually made the pit stop and is now running effectively what is going to be, by my reckoning, that is going to be third in silver, and that could mean a very interesting shift in the fact that Deloitte, where is Deloitte at the moment? Down in 26th position, but is currently outside of the top 10, so that could mean that Morancy could end up leading the silver class standings at the end of this race. That's a turn for the books with 2 minutes and 3/4 to go.
Currently sitting in 4th place, Morancy, so something has definitely happened to the #1 car, the Audi of Danick Vallée in the pit lane. we'll have to see after the race what he has to say. Obviously, and this is scored as you see his car sliding through turn 9. Yeah, unfortunate here for Danik Valley, who is leading the race comfortably. But as I said earlier, some shenanigans in the pit lane and everything's fumbled around. The orders all jumbled up. So and that's exactly what has happened here. As Mador is in the pits, and we have a yellow flag. It's Formato.
Oh,
Formato
dear,
taps on the pit lane.
and that was into pit road as well.
Yeah,
Oh
we'll have to see
me.
what happened. Ooh, nearly colliding with the pit wall. So yeah,
Very lucky person
Yeah.
to hang on to the brakes like he did. No damage on that car.
Safe to say, however, he didn't clear the speed limit. He didn't overspeed going into the pits, having stopped right before the entrance line. But yeah, very lucky, as you said, to keep it out of the wall there. The braking action just in front, and yeah, just keeping it out of the wall as I think he stopped. Yeah, he has stopped. So Prudhomme is in the start-finish lane. He's gonna take the position, I believe. It's gonna be close. Yeah, he's gonna take the position over Formato. So Prudhomme has driven a nice race right now and leading the silver category. As talking about another race leader, Ismail Lebrec with a 20, mind you, a 23.7 gap against Patrick Fournier in second place. Yeah, I mean, it's been I mean, it's not the first time I say it, but he's been incredible throughout this whole race. He's absolutely been in a class of his own. He's comes out around the last corner, so it's gonna be the last lap of this second round of the EGT challenge. Current race leader Ismail Lebrec with Fournier in second, Marc-Antoine Landry in third, Dubé in fourth with Bazin in fifth. Our race leader in silver, Prudhomme with Marchand in second, Morancy in third, and Danik Valley in fourth. So Danik Valley has managed to pass Bilo, I believe, and he's putting some pressure on Morancy, so he wants to get that podium back. So
Yeah.
as Morancy goes very wide, there's contact! Oh no, the last lap, there's contact between Danik Valley and that's Morancy. And Morancy, yeah, I believe Morancy has hit the wall. Oh my goodness!
That was exit. That was exit stage right, and Morancy, I think, might have just saved it. I think he was trying to avoid. Look, there's the touch, and he goes straight to the right-hand side, but keeps it out of the barriers. So well held to Johan Morancy, but that is going to put Danik Valley into third position.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the stewards have to say at third race.
Yeah, but, however, let's concentrate on our overall race leader, shall we? Ismail Lebrec, pole position at Kyalami, took a convincing race win despite the best efforts of Season 5 overall champion Jonathan Boivin. But we're now heading into turn 15 for the final time. Through the triple right we go, turn 16, 17, and 18. Two more corners remain. It's been a standout performance despite having the maximum amount of ballast, and that will go on to the next round on October the 11th at the Hungaroring. But one more corner remains. The number 68 of Ismail Lebrec does 2 on the bounce. It's a win at Kyalami. He now does the double here at Circuit of the Americas and continues to lead the pro class with a maximum score of 50 points as we wait for our second place finisher. And a great run for Patrick Fournier. Started second, finished in second. A better effort, a better time behind the wheel for the number 3 from Team CQ as he takes second. Marc-Antoine Landry, we're just waiting for him at the moment as he will now cross the line to round out the top 3 in the overall pro classification. And what a run by Dubé. Lawrence Dubé takes fourth, Danny Baisden Then it's Kevin Rassin who will take 6th place ahead of David Boulanger, with Mador and Bourdon running at the top 9. Formato will run at the top 10. But, Nathaniel, let's concentrate on the silver class leader, shall we?
Yeah, just a great race driven by Prudhomme. Has been helped by quite a few circumstances in this race. Nevertheless, he's been head down during this whole race and took every opportunity that came at him. And he's gonna take the race win in the silver categories. Mathieu Prudhomme, as Formato comes in 11th behind him, as that's the stranded Bentley. As Marchand takes the 2nd place in his Lexus, with Danik Valley rounding up the podium places for the silver category, with Bilodeau in 4th, Morancy in 5th, and Maxime David, our first place in qualifying, our pole setter for the silver category in qualifying. Unfortunate race for him, but still not a bad result considering he was down in last place after that first lap incident. Running up in 18th place, so that's been a great race for him. And Baudry behind him in 19th place, so in 7th place of the silver class. So, and rounding up the top 20 is Vincent Généreux de Guise. What a race we've had here at the Circuit of Americas. Honestly, Alex, there's been plenty of action from start to finish. Great battle between some of the drivers, some great battles and standout performances, obviously, throughout the field. Very, very impressive race right here.
Yeah, I mean, Ismail Abrek, 2 for 2 on 2 successive rounds, will go into the Hungaroring with a maximum amount of ballast on October the 11th, but that has not phased that driver so far, winning by 23.6 seconds ahead of Patrick Fournier. But in 2 weeks' time, we head to Central Eastern Europe, to the Hungaroring, the home of World WTCR and ETCR racing star Norby Michelitz, which will provide a very different dynamic from the long straights, the twistier sections. We're going to have a circuit that's going to be very, very difficult to overtake at, and you've got to really plan your moments. But also Mathieu Prudhomme making it the 2nd different winner in the silver class here in Split 1. A great race by him. A real shame for Maxime David, but also Jeremy Schneider was in the mix there. Also, I have to say commiserations once again to David Clermont. You know, 2 non-finish, 2 difficult races, not scoring points when he was in the mix. But you know, we have to say a big thank you to everyone that's been watching here tonight here on the EGT Challenge TV YouTube channel, and also on the EGT Canada Facebook live stream. So thank you very much for everyone watching. A big thank you to all our competitors that have been with us. We also have to thank our sponsors as well, Centre Porsche Quebec and also Next Level Racing, because our time in the commentary box is almost over here, Nathaniel. But there is a lot of racing action coming up here on EGT Canada. In just 2 days' time, it's rounds 3 and 4 of the Porsche Esports Carrera Cup Quebec on the 29th of September. Next week, there's another couple of championships we run. We've got the the respective 3rd rounds on the 4th of October of ETCR Sprint, and then the ETCX Sprint Cup on the 4th and the 6th of October. I mean, tonight, I did say the nighttime would cause havoc. It certainly did. We had plenty of shenanigans. I think that's probably your key phrase that you'd like to use now, that we're going to see some shenanigans. And when I know that happens, I'm sure that something else might go awry there as well, Nathaniel.
Yeah. And again, want to thank everyone who's been with us tonight. Be sure to don't miss out the action on Thursday for the Porsche Carrera Cup Quebec. And again, thanks to our sponsors. Without them, it would be impossible for us to run this incredible series. And that's gonna be it for us tonight. So Yeah, so long, Alex. It was a great night, and see you in 2 weeks' time at the Hungaroring.
Indeed. So, tout le monde, à la prochaine. Bonne soirée.
Have a good night.
Par l'aspiration, il devrait avoir
Oui, par l'avantage.
Est-ce qu'on réussit? On se place à l'intérieur, on se
Quelle course
touche!
de son côté. On a été très patient.
Belle lutte jusqu'à maintenant. Et là,
Bon, alors qu'on a un accrochage ici. Bonne sortie de piste.
on va tenter de croiser qui n'est pas le meilleur endroit pour dépasser. Oui! Incroyable!